9440.
4405.
944405. 90.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jon Garlick, and I'm here with Lieutenant Ronnie Murray, and this is Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Ronnie,
Good to see you again, Uncle
it's
John.
good to see you. It's nice to have you here with us. You know, it's a rare thing, but
It is rare.
yeah,
At least it's a warmer day.
it is a warmer day. It's kind of medium, so it makes it a medium rare. Kind of, never mind.
To me, this is just
So
great.
you guys didn't have a medium week last week.
No, we didn't.
You had a really good week. Let's
Had a
take a look at
good
the
week.
count. There you go. Tell
Got
us.
3 more. Now we're up to 4928, 4,928. Y'all keep the tips coming. We can't solve crime without you guys out there helping us.
And that new tip line, is it working good?
It's working good.
Okay, good, because people are calling in.
Yes.
The community support helps make this county a safer place, and of course drives the show.
It does.
Sheriff office benefits from that. So we were talking off camera about some of the strange stuff that's at convenience stores that we should be aware of.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of phone calls about the synthetics that are there at gas stations. You see them. You can't walk up to pay for anything now without seeing a whole litany of, you know, hemp this, hemp that, not safe for human consumption, and, you know, the cathinones in these things, the K2, the spice, the synthetic marijuana, you know, those are bad news. And I've had friends that have lost their life over synthetics that are out there. The vape pens that are out now, there's a lot of illegal substances in these that we're trying to crack down on. I just caution people, especially with their kids, to make sure that they're paying attention. Hey, it's your kids. Go through their cars, their vehicles, you know, their rooms and stuff, and make sure that they're not hiding these things in their rooms, because we know a lot of kids are starting to get on them.
Yeah, dangerous stuff. Just because it's for sale at a convenience store doesn't mean you should be buying it.
Absolutely
Dangerous
not.
stuff out there. But we'll be right back with the first half of our lineup and a really interesting guest for us here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up in our lineup this week, Terry Cruz. Mr. Cruz, last known to be living in Huntsville. He's wanted for a probation violation on unlawful manufacture of a controlled substance second. Take a look at Tyreek Williams. Mr. Williams, last known to be living in Gadsden. He's wanted for failure to appear on illegal possession of a credit card or debit card. And this is Sarah Giardrosh Coleman. Giardrosh. She's last known to be living in Coleman. And Miss Sarah, she's wanted for a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. This is Lacey Rick. Lacey is last known to be living in Pell City. She's wanted for a probation violation on possession of a controlled substance. And meet Thomas Sullett. Mr. Sullett, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on theft by fraudulent leasing. And we'd like you to meet Patrick Clopton. Mr. Clopton, last known to be living in Oxford. He's wanted for a probation violation for delivery and sale of drug paraphernalia. Take a look at Daniel Wiseman. Mr. Wiseman, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear, possession of a controlled substance, and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And that's it for the first half of the lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in the lineup that you might know or know where they are. And if you do, give that Crime Stoppers number a call or call the Sheriff's Office at 236-6600 and ask for Lieutenant Ronnie Murray. We have a really interesting guest with us today, Kyle Bryan, Associate Pastor of all kinds of stuff at First Methodist of Anniston.
Absolutely.
Kyle, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Well, tell us, you know, First Methodist has been around Anniston for a long time. It's a landmark over there by the YMCA.
We've been around for quite some time, as you mentioned, and we do a lot of different things. One of the things that we do that I just wanted to talk with you all about today is a feeding ministry called Shepherd's Table.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So every Sunday we feed between 40 and 60 homeless or low-income individuals and families breakfast. So this started in 2018, I believe. what we discovered was that many of the agencies located around us, The Right Place, Interfaith Ministries, the Soup Bowl, they did a lot of the work during the week, and they would make sure that many of these people had breakfast, made sure that they had lunch, and that they had something to go for dinner. But what we discovered was that on the weekends, the Anniston Soup Bowl is closed, those agencies are not open, and so there was really a gap in services that was not being filled. And so through some grants that we were able to apply for through the United Methodist Church, we began this ministry that started as once a month kind of thing, and then within 2 months we realized it was a really incredible need that we needed to fill. And so we've been doing it every Sunday since 2018.
So you're serving about 60 people, is that what you said?
Between 40 to 60, depending on the time of the month, depending on the weather conditions. When it's rainy, people are more likely to hunker down and not mill about, and when it's cold as well. I will say that with the Carver Community Center being open as a warming shelter, we have found ourselves preparing more meals, actually. So we'll have about 20 folks that eat there, but then an additional 40 that are at the Carver Center that we deliver meals with and collaborate with other agencies to do that.
And you know, that sounds like a low number really, because you know, there's probably about 450 homeless within the Anniston area. And of course you were involved in the count. They did the Homeless Coalition, I think it was, that
yes,
did
absolutely.
the count here this past week.
The city task force on homelessness, which was created last year, and then the Homeless Coalition, which is the continuum of care for Northeast Alabama, partnered to do the homeless count this time. And it was quite a collaborative effort, and we were really happy at Anniston First to be kind of ground zero for the training and for sending out volunteers to do that. And they were able to count. Unfortunately, they were able to count a significant amount of people, not just in Anniston, but in Oxford as well, and other places in Calhoun County as well.
Around the county. Ronnie, does the Sheriff's Office deal, well, you know, I know the Sheriff's Office doesn't patrol in Anniston, and that's where the bulk of our homeless are, but the county has its share of stuff like that.
We do. Out in rural parts of Calhoun County, you know, some people may have lost their homes and become indigent, may live in a tent in the woods. We'll get calls about them every once in a while, and you know, Sheriff's philosophy is if somebody needs help, you help them. However you can get them help, that's what you do. We'll contact, you know, agencies around the area to see if we can get them a place to stay for the night, get them some food, some hygiene products. You know, and I've seen it. I've been here for 12 years, and I know deputies that have taken money out of their own pocket and taken people to feed them and, you know, buy them a jacket, some shoes, whatever they need. That's kind of what, you know, the Sheriff's Office is all about, is helping anybody any way you can. So giving them resources or taking money out of our pockets, however we can help, that's what we do.
Yeah, and it's a big problem in the county and in the city. The level of homelessness is really high, and we'll know more with the count. And of course the services that your church is providing and The Right Place and some of the others are vital to their care, but there are gaps in service, and there's no shelter.
There's no shelter.
Except for warming shelters, but there's no substantial shelter for these folks. So we're going to talk more about that and some other stuff that maybe is going on at First Methodist, but we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back here, so stay with us on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Larry Moore Jr. Mr. Moore, last known to be living in Ohatchee, he's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. And this is Jessica Draper. Mrs. Draper, last known to be living in Gadsden, she's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. Take a look at Gerald Anderson. Mr. Anderson, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for probation violation, receiving stolen property first. And we'd like you to meet Sharon Arrington. Miss Arrington, last known to be living in Guntersville. She's wanted on a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance and possession of marijuana second. Take a look at Ashley Nicole. Miss Nicole, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for failure to appear, human trafficking second, possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana second, and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this is Brandy Sims. Miss Sims, last known to be living in Lineville. She's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana second, and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you have any information on these people, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers. That number 1-833-251-7867. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup and that you know where they are. And if you do, call Crime Stoppers. Call Ronnie Murray at the Sheriff's Office. And we're here with Ronnie, and we're here with Kyle Bryan, Associate Pastor of things that are associate pastoring at First Methodist.
Outreach, discipleship,
outreach,
administration, all kinds of things.
You name it. You're number 2 in charge at First Methodist, which is, again, a historical church for Anniston, but it's got some of the best acoustics. I've been in there for lots of musical performances, and you ever been in there, Ronnie?
I have a couple of times. Have you sang in there before?
I think I might have. I don't know. I've certainly been in there with the choirs and stuff.
I'm glad I missed it.
I'm glad you missed it too. But it's a really wonderful spot for
It is.
music.
We host a lot of concerts. We host Jacksonville State University frequently. If you're ever interested in learning about that, always go to the events page on our webpage. We try to post when different organizations are using our space because, we really are a community-oriented church. Alcoholics Anonymous happens, NAMI happens, CAST meets there, CAST Kids as well. We host CAST shows, so we are really focused on the community to making our community as good as it can be.
And so in reaching out to the community, we were talking about the homeless folks and the services you provide, and that gap in service on the weekend, that's really concerning. That you've got food and medical care 5 days a week, but on the weekends, if it weren't for your Sunday breakfast, homeless folks would starve.
It's a big.
And
it's a big
I've never
concern.
really understood the Monday 8 to 5:30, Monday through Friday 8 to 5:30 to help the homeless when the weekend is extremely hard on them. There's obviously no services open anywhere for them. So that's really good. What time do you guys start?
We start at 8:30, and we serve until it's gone. And if there is extra left over, we usually send it with them. We have different teams that come in. So some of our teams that serve are church members, and we do organize it. But we also have different community groups that will frequently come in to prepare the meal. So the Arc of Calhoun County, some of the adults, they will come in every, I believe it's the third Sunday, and they'll help prepare the meal and work with some of the guests that come. We also just recently had the Girl Scouts come this past Sunday, and they prepared a meal as well and spent some time with the folks that are there. So anybody can really come and serve.
I think that was going to be my next question. You got high school kids that are looking for community service hours, especially juniors and seniors. Would they be able to contact you guys and come down and volunteer?
Absolutely, we would love to have them. We are always trying to recruit teams and different folks, because one of the things that I've just personally discovered is regarding homelessness, if you don't see it, you don't think it's there. And unfortunately, that's one of the things that Anniston and Calhoun County struggles with, is that some of these individuals are concentrated in a particular area. If you never go to those areas, you don't think Anniston has a homelessness crisis. But we do, and so the more people that we can get on the campus, whether that be through AA or serving in Shepherd's Table, that increases people's interaction with these homeless men and women. And oftentimes what they discover is their stories. They discover why it is that they're homeless, and they also discover that they could easily be a family member of theirs who struggled with addiction, who had mental health issues but didn't have the support system to keep them from falling down the socioeconomic ladder. So it's really good for us when other people get to have that experience.
Well, you guys have become, like you said, ground zero for providing that service for the community. And I know other churches in the area do like food pantries. They gather canned foods and they leave it out there. It might be a thing to, I don't know if anybody's ever talked about coordinating that, so rather than just having those food pantries at the various churches, that they just bring it to you guys and you have a central place so that the people that need it know they can go to one place and it'll all be there. So Ronnie, that was a great idea to get high school students. It sounds like a reserve opportunity for reserve deputies to coordinate that with the SROs.
Yep.
You just created a new program for the Sheriff's Office.
Look at me go.
Under your outreach, you being also the Associate Deputy of Outreach
Yeah,
for the Sheriff's Office.
Look at me go. A new title.
Yeah, a new title. You need one. So you've got grants. You've got any any up-and-coming grants that are going to help with this? You got any new things percolating?
As far as Shepherd's Table goes, no. It has become very self-sustaining. The congregation is pretty passionate about it. Of course, you always need as much money as you can get, right? So we're never going to turn that away. But really, people jumping in there and getting their hands dirty. One of the biggest needs we have with that ministry is people who are more comfortable with folks that are different, being willing to sit down with them at the table. That's a challenge for us as well, because you just don't know, what do we talk about when we sit down? Well, the reality is that most of these men and women, if you watch the Super Bowl, they probably watched it too. Now, they might have been sitting in McDonald's drinking a cup of coffee to stay warm to watch the Super Bowl, but they're they know what's going on in the world too.
They're people,
they're
and
people.
they're there by circumstance or neglect, whether it be society's neglect or mental illness, and they are people and they will talk, and it is you're right, it's very uncomfortable to sit at a table with somebody that might be a little different, but it can be
happen to
eye-opening.
any of us.
Right, it can happen anyway.
But you asked about what are other things we have going on. We're adding an addition to our playground. My daughter was killed in a car accident in 2020, and one of the things that we did was we created a playground at First Methodist in her memory. It's called the Lucy Memorial Bryan Playground. And so we had the first installment last year, and we were able to raise enough money that we're now going to have a new addition to that, and it's for toddlers, for 2- and 3-year-olds. So we partner with the YMCA. It's available to them to use as well. And also the daycare that we have at the church, they use it, and children as well. And it's also available for rent as
Outstanding.
well. So try to reach out to the community.
First Methodist always reaching out to the community, centrally located in downtown Anniston near the YMCA. We appreciate you
Thank you.
for being on the show
Definitely.
and for enlightening us on the homeless
Absolutely.
situation and what's
Enjoyed
going
being
on
here.
at
Thank you for what you do.
First Methodist.
And you too.
So, we'll be back with our crazy criminal and the Crime Stoppers portion of the show. So stay with us here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask your help on the following cases. Sometime between January 27th and January 29th, a vehicle was broken into on Dewey Drive in Oxford. They got away with some Apple AirPods, 2 Savage rifles, 2 boxes of ammo, a wallet, checkbook, brown Carhartt jacket, black ski jacket, and camouflage book bag, all stolen from that vehicle. And on January 30th, a vehicle was broken into on Sunbelt Parkway in Gadsden. A black Ruger 380 pistol was stolen from that vehicle. And on January 30th, another vehicle was broken into on Sunbelt Parkway in Gadsden. Apple AirPods, an Apple Watch, a brown leather purse, and miscellaneous keys were stolen from that vehicle. And that's it for your caseload this week. If you have any information on these cases, please give Crime Stoppers a call. That number 1-833-251-7867.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Ronnie, it's crazy criminal time.
We should really give this one a hand.
Okay. Tell us about her.
Julia Adleshik, she's from Slovenia.
Slovenia.
So her boyfriend and her get together and devise a plan that they're going to scam the insurance companies.
Okay.
So he takes out 5 insurance policies on her. So she decides that she's going to chop her hand off with a saw to be able to scam the insurance companies. Well, they didn't fall for it. So she's minus a hand and a fat check now. She's just permanently disabled and going to jail.
Well, that's terrible.
It's terrible.
You
That's why
know,
I said we should give her a hand for trying.
We should give her a hand, but I think her boyfriend manipulated her. Why couldn't he chop his hand off?
Would you?
Well, no, but why did she?
She
So ladies, that's abuse. No joking, that's abuse. That poor, and Ronnie, really quickly, the women that are in your jail, in the county jail, aren't most of them there because of some involvement with some guy that's led them astray?
I would say most, if not all.
Yeah, drugs and manipulation. It's terrible. So that's a sad story.
It is.
That's not really a
But
crazy
hey,
criminal.
men can be abused as well.
Men can be abused, but not as.
I mean, how many times have we talked about the abuse that you've incurred over the years?
Yes, I'm so downtrodden. It's my brethren in the land of Oz. We represent the Lollipop Guild. Ronnie, thanks for being on the show with us.
I enjoyed it as
we can't wait
always.
to see you again. I know the folks up in Pleasant Valley miss seeing your face on TV every now and again. Lieutenant Ronnie Murray, head of the SROs and patrol and what else?
Criminal investigations.
You're in investigations now.
Yeah.
So Ronnie's over all kinds of good stuff. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, folks, for tuning in this week for Calhoun County's Most Wanted, and we hope to see you again next week, but not on the lineup, here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.